All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Kadash. We'll start off by
Brother
giving our
Kunah.
praises to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash.
All right, so we still going in on the laws. This week, you know, what's unique about the laws is like, well, just about this week, what I've been seeing in the world of Israel, us that call ourselves Israelites, is there's been a debate on should we come together or not. So you know the group that's against us coming together, and then you know the groups that's down with the unity camp stuff like that. They got a big one that's coming up. I think I sent a picture of Cornell. It's over there kind of close to like New Jersey, New York area, but that's been the debate, right? But the thing that I've seen and the thing that we're going through right now is the law, statutes, commandments, right? The law, statutes, and commandments command us to come together. So that's the answer. Should we break ourselves off in a group of 1,000? Like me and Quadal, we break ourselves off one group, and then all Israel do that. That's divide and conquer. That's why we still in the position we in right now. That's why the end hasn't came, and that's why the Lord hasn't came back from us. Can you get that Hosea 5:15? That's why the Lord hasn't came back from us. So these guys been doing the same thing for decades and decades and decades, and got the same result of the end not coming yet. The Lord hasn't came back to save us yet. So why wouldn't you switch something up? You just imagine, right? Just imagine, right? You got teachers, right? You got these teachers that's teaching you, these elders over you that's teaching you, getting you prepared and ready to take a test, right? Every year you take a test. So you go and take the test and you get a D-, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you go back and study with these same elders and these same teachers, and you go back and take the test and you get another D-. And you do it another year and another year, and you keep getting a D- every time you go and study with these elders. You ain't switched nothing up, and every time you go take this test, you get a D-, which is likened to the results that we get. We've been doing the same stuff every year, and guess what? The end has not came yet. We still in captivity. You see what I'm saying? So a smart man, we talking about wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom and knowledge, right? A man with wisdom would say, let me go study somewhere else, right? Let me go study with another teacher, or let me switch some things up, because every time I study with these leaders and these teachers, these elders, and I go take the test, I get a D-. I failed. But now I switch some things up to try to figure out what we should do to please the Lord, and now I go take the test, and now I get a B. Okay, now I'm making progress, right? So that's how this thing works. You can't be a hypocrite and say, hey, you got to follow the doctrine. You can't change the doctrine. You can't grow the doctrine. You can't do none of that, because who are you? And we got to follow these men because they've been in the truth this long. But we see their results, though. But they themselves didn't follow or keep the same doctrine or the same name as they elders that they follow. That's being a hypocrite. Which one is it? Can we not change the doctrine? And the doctrine is not allowed to grow, and these men got 100% truth, and we got to follow everything they say to a T, and we can't change nothing or grow nothing from the truth? But they did it with their elders. They don't call themselves by the name of the original camp they was with. They broke off. They broke off from it. They didn't listen to their elders, and they switched the doctrine around. But it's okay for them to do it, but then it's not okay for younger men to come do it. That's how the truth grows. The NOI, the Nation of Islam, they played their role for a point in time. They was forerunners for what we got today now. They played their role for a point in time, and then the Lord said, look, okay, they did what they had to do, and they was profitable for our people for a point in time. And the Lord said, okay, now they done. They got to pass the baton. Now the Hebrew Israelite stuff is around. Abba Bivens was with the commandment keepers. But, you know, the truth grew from the commandment keepers, and then Abba came with it. And he changed some things around and said, no, you got to add the New Testament and all that. That's how the truth go, man. The truth going to continue growing. You can't be so prideful to think that this is it. We got the 100% truth. It's never going to grow again. Because that's man worship. So the top guy at your camp, he can change the truth from what his elders taught him. But then can't nobody else, you worshiping that man. That's being in a cult. The truth going to continue growing. And it's prideful to think that it's already grown to this full extent right now. It probably ain't grown to this full extent. It's probably still growing, man. Yeah. Just imagine being in the 90s thinking they had the full truth and the truth was fully grown and they was finna get out in year 2000. What happened? That's the results I'm talking about. The results didn't show that they were right. So even today we still in captivity. So the results is showing us like, look, we doing something wrong, man. So we gotta change things up and do something right, man. And it's clear, we ain't gonna go into it, but Acts chapter 2 is what we have to do. Because the apostles' doctrine, right? The apostles of old, the real apostles, that was there with Yahweh Shai, what did they do? They said everybody came together, put all their belongings into a pot, and they split it all up between everybody as they needed, and they all lived together daily. And the Lord added to the church. That's what it says. What camp is doing that? Niggas become Hebrew Israelites on the weekends. Can you get that from me?
Yeah, this Hosea 5:15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So the Lord ain't leaving us here. This on us. We still here in captivity because of us. We went into captivity because of us. You can't blame that on the Lord. Well, we went into captivity because of the Lord. No, we went into captivity because we was wicked. So it's the same thing while we still here and the Lord hasn't came back and got us yet. Because we still wicked. So we got to change some things up to try to please the Lord, right?
So
it says, oh, you go ahead.
No, my bad. But no, I was gonna say, so what does that prove? That proves that we not waiting on the Lord is waiting on us.
Yep,
That's
let's get
all
our
I
shit
had to say.
together. To do what he told us to do. So when we go into the law, statutes, commandments, this ain't dealing with a group of 500 brothers or a group of 1,000 brothers. It's dealing with the nation of Israel, the people of Israel. You see what I'm saying? So we got to put our differences aside and our pride aside and move the older men out the way. They don't mean that they not men of the Lord just because they get moved out the way. They still men of the Lord. They still can have a gift for them. But it's time to pass the baton to the next guys, man. Don't mean that they should stop doing the truth. They should still finish their course in the truth, but they shouldn't hold leadership positions and influence positions because the truth has grown past them. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, we can get that.
Deuteronomy?
No, Hosea 5 again.
Oh, okay, keep going.
Yeah, no, just run it back.
Oh, okay. Hosea 5:15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my...
Right there, until they acknowledge their offenses.
Right.
So the Lord said he gonna go, he ain't gonna return to y'all acknowledge y'all offenses. What's one of y'all offenses? Not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Because in order to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that's something that was given to the nation of Israel, not 500 men that got the truth. It was something that was given to all Israelites. So we got to keep it. So that therefore we have to come together to keep it. That's the law. The law, statutes, commandments ain't really about individuals. Do not kill. That's what you gonna do. Kill yourself? No, that's talking about how you deal with other Israelites. Do not steal. The law, statutes, commandments ain't really dealing with an individual. It's dealing with the nation. The Lord is waiting to be pleased by how we follow him and how we treat each other, the nation. Not just 500 members or 1,000 members. That only make up 0.001% of all the Israelites. Probably not even that. Just imagine that, man. So the Lord said he gonna go until we acknowledge our offenses. We have to acknowledge our offenses, man. Our affliction, we being afflicted right now. That's the point of being in captivity. You're afflicted. So we gotta acknowledge those offenses, man. And that you guys look at it as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing unless you man worshiping. It's not a bad thing to say, hey man, this elder, you've been in the truth 30, 40 years. You did great works. You know what I mean? Continue doing your videos, continue going out to camp, but you got to step down from this leadership position. You got to step down from this influence position. Because you know the old bottles. You still stuck on this, but the truth done grown, right? Just like our family, right? Like take our pops and them. They got to step down, man, because they still got that old mindset of the 80s and the golden era of how to get money. But just imagine, and this is the problem, this is why we still so fucked up as a people, because you got these older men, they don't know when to step down. So they still trying to do things the way they did things in the 80s.
Stuck in the old ways.
Stuck in their old ways, and they going to jail because technology has advanced so that they could get a satellite to spy on what we doing right now. They can hack into computers, phones, Facebook. So they still got these old ways, and they fucking up the family money, and they fucking up the family because they keep getting popped to go to jail because they still got their old ways, rather than stepping down and saying, okay, let me get behind my sons. My sons and them, they know this internet shit. They know this. They grew up in this shit, so they know this shit a little bit better. Let me get behind them and assist them and let them take the leadership role. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing we see in real life, man. But they don't want to step down, man. It's not just about stepping down and just abandoning them. You help from behind the scene, man. But you gotta let somebody else take the seat, man. But they don't want to do it. So they still stuck in their old ways. But the truth done grown, but they still sitting on these seats of leadership, still trying to run things by the old ways, even though the truth done grown, man.
Because they think that nobody else know nothing but them.
Yep. Because they've been in it for so long.
Y'all can't tell me nothing.
You got that y'all can't tell me nothing attitude. They can't see somebody under them advancing, you know, to a position over them, and they refuse to accept it.
Yep. You can't say you got a 100% truth. You get on videos going back and forth with a brother, and a brother exposed that you wasn't right. Like for example, the whole kid uncle get with a niche shit. Well, there was a group that was saying that was true, and there was another group that went through the Bible and showed them how they were wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shalom.
So he showed them how they were wrong. So that means that, hey, you ain't got 100% true. You was cut on it. But yeah, you could just deny it. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Then you just deny it. What does that sound like? The wicked Pharisees and scribes. When Yahushua came, they were stuck in their ways. See? Everybody was following them at one point in time. But when Yahushua came, he said, no, he didn't grow the truth, but he grew the knowledge and the wisdom. The truth is fully here, but the knowledge and wisdom of the truth grows. And that's what Yahushua was coming like, nope, this is what this is. This is what this is. And he was rebuking them. But they were stuck in their old ways. They had old men that was sitting on those seats of leadership position, and they ain't want to follow Yahushua, because who is he? We've been doing this 30, 40 years before he even came. He's a young man. He's 30s, 20s, late 20s. Who is he? Oh, he's saying he the son of man? He's saying he the Lord, the King of the Jews? Who is he? They wanted people to follow them. You see what I'm saying? So they wasn't allowing that wisdom and knowledge of the truth to grow. They were stuck in their old ways, man. And that's why you see, like, if you're a new brother, you come in the truth, you say, damn, why are the Hebrew Israelites all broken up into groups and they can't come together and they all fighting against each other and they just all talking shit about each other? It's because of the various leaders of these groups and their pride. I can't come under him because I taught him back in the old school, so he got to come under me. I can't get with him because it's a competition to see who's going to be right at the end. I mean, you feel that though?
Yeah.
I mean, am I off on that? Like,
no, I mean, it's something that it's something that we just see. It's something that we notice. You know what I mean? And then we can you know, recognize it with real life situations when we going through with our elders, like, you know, through our bloodline. You know, that's, you know, it's just the same thing.
Wouldn't we be stronger if we came together?
Yeah.
So why not? So why aren't we coming together? If we know we'd be stronger if we coming together, why are we still advocating for a division? But you say, hey, the Bible says this. The Bible talks about the law, statutes, commandments, man. The law, statutes, commandments is for Israel to be together. That's why the law, statutes, commandments going to be written in our inward hearts, in our inward parts, in our hearts, in the kingdom. Because we going to be together in the kingdom. So the Lord is, so it doesn't take a rocket science to read the Bible and know that the Lord is for us being together and not separate. When it talks about he's going to come back and separate mother from father and all that, that's talking about, you know, you got people that's in the world, you got wicked. When you come up in the truth and you a brother and you the household and you trying to follow the truth, you going to separate from your family if they still trying to be wicked, man. It just happens naturally. Because y'all at odds, man. But then they use that to say, well, brothers in the truth is wicked, man. Nah, bro, y'all all believe, well, for the most part, the one Westerners, y'all believe that we are the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribe church, and y'all believe that salvation is for us, and y'all believe in the Lord. That's the fundamental things that matters, man. Now, going to this precept, and we break this precept down this way, we believe it breaks down this way. Man, that shit, we gonna find out everything. We gonna be corrected when the Lord comes back.
This Deuteronomy 16, starting at the top. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
If I'm not wrong, I think it's talking about like the month of like life, roughly paraphrasing. So when life is, it's like close to where we at right now, when everything is growing and all like the trees is getting life, these bushes, the grass is getting life, everything is growing. So it's kind of telling you the month of the Passover was not in the winter time.
It symbolizes, you know what I mean? It symbolizes the beginning of growth, and you know, coming back around full circle, pretty much.
Yep. So in the springtime.
Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and the herd in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there.
So we just kept the Passover not too long ago, so that's why we still keep the Passover.
Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith. even the bread of affliction, for thou camest forth of the land of Egypt in haste. Right? That thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavening bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days, neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night until the morning.
So this is telling you how to keep the Passover, which we already been over this because we just kept it.
Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt.
So in Exodus they had already kept the Passover. So then we got the law, statutes, commandments after they kept the Passover and went to the wilderness. So Moses was still telling them over again that you should keep the Passover. So that's why we still keep it today. We still keep the Passover today. This is Judges 5 verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of the drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. So that's what we do today. We still keep the Passover because we're rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord. So the Lord is the perfect example. He was the lamb unblemished. He kept the law perfect. He didn't sin. So do we still keep the law, statutes, commandments? Yes, to the best of our abilities. Anybody telling you that you don't have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, they're wicked. If they telling you that you can eat pork and stuff like that, did the Lord eat pork? But he's the perfect example. So we got to follow him. You can't eat pork. Did the Lord celebrate Christmas? Did he celebrate Easter? No. Those were wicked holidays, so we shouldn't celebrate them. Did the Lord call himself a Catholic? No. Did he call himself universal? No. So we call ourselves the name that the Lord called himself, Hebrew Israelite. Did he call himself a camp name? No. So brothers get caught up into that, man. Because now before every video, instead of just giving praises to the Lord, you giving praises to this camp name that ain't got shit to do with the Lord. Before every camp, you giving praises to this camp name. They ain't got shit to do with the Lord. Whether it be Sakari, before every video, you got to mention Sakari. What the fuck does Sakari got to do with the Lord? What the fuck does GMS have to do with the Lord? The Lord didn't call himself none of that. He called himself a Hebrew Israelite. He was a Hebrew Israelite. So that's all you got to do, man, to follow the Lord, man. And you got to be able to see when you start to get mixed up into this worshiping shit, man. Man worshiping shit. Because what does this name have to do with the Lord? So why do I got to go so big on this name that pretty much every single one of my videos I started off with mentioning this name amongst the Lord? So you mention the Lord name, right? Because you give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And then you say double honors to this of the camp of da-da-da. What does that extra shit? That's adding to the word. I mean, am I wrong? Because was the Lord saying that? But we supposed to follow the Lord, right? Was he giving double honors to this, and that? No. Was he saying of this camp? No. So we shouldn't be doing it. You know? I just got a part of Judges 5. Just to show how we still rehearsing the righteous acts.
Verse 7. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents.
Right. So man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm finna go. I've been quiet, I've been chilling, bro. Like I be quiet and I'll be just teaching the truth, chilling and stuff like that, cause y'all really don't fucking matter, bro. Only thing that matters is the Lord. We're nothing. So that's why when like man say shit, it's like they saying it to them, well, I don't care, bro. You know what I mean? But I'm ready to really stand for the Lord, bro. Because of the division and the bullshit that's going on. And it's easy and clear to see, but man refuse to see it. I'm not being biased in no type of way. I'm just telling you what it is, man. Y'all, like, especially with us that call us up the Hebrew Israelites, the camps, y'all bullshit, man. And that's why we getting the results. We still in captivity to this day. And the end still haven't came. Damn, we ain't know Russia and Ukraine, how long they fucking war gonna last. Man. Damn, a nuke ain't went off yet. This war been going on for damn near a year. I think they had their 1-year anniversary of their war. And the nuke ain't went off yet. I don't blame that on the war, I blame that on us. What the fuck is we doing wrong, man? It's cause all the bullshit, man. It's a fact. It don't matter how you feel, your feelings and your assumptions like niggas like to do. The fact is, hey, did the Lord call himself, did the Lord go by the group name that you're, if you call yourself GMS, did the Lord say anything about him being a part of GMS? Or that he was going to create or raise up a group called GMS? We know everything is by the way of the Lord, but so why are you so stuck on banging on this name so much, Sakari? You doing videos, you got this big Sakari stamp in the back of your on the back of every one of your videos. Same thing IUIC do. The Lord didn't do that. So why are we doing that? Now, can we get an Israelite covenant stamp and open up a school? Do me and him got enough money to open up a school? Fuck yes. And go get an Israelite covenant stamp and sticker and every one of our videos. We got Israelite Covenant was just a YouTube channel name. We had to put some type of name. And you ask us who we are.
And it came, I mean, that covenant oil, when you think about it, it came from the scriptures, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the covenant was given to us, and then the oil goes back to the parable of the five verses and the 10 verses.
Yep. So, but if you ask me, if you catch me on the street, you ask me, hey, what gang you a part of? Rep your set. I'm gonna say Hebrew Israelite. I'm gonna say I'm a Hebrew Israelite.
Facts.
Because what? Because the Lord would say it like that.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? The Lord had disciples. What was they group name? Ah, wait. What was their unique group name? No, they was just disciples of the Lord, man, and apostles.
That's
you
what
see
they
what I'm
was known
saying?
as. They was just known as the 12 disciples.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that's and like not to.
They weren't that known as
the word disciple goes back. I mean, it means like follower.
Yeah, follower, teachers.
So they was follower of the Lord.
Yeah.
They was disciples of the Lord, followers of the Lord.
But they didn't have no unique name like this is the church of the Super Israelite Disciple Gang. You see what I'm saying? So we just call ourselves Hebrew Israelites. But see, a lot of people don't want that because they camps and they gangs cause division. If we just call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, then I could beat you, bro. We could break bread together. We could do things together. But if I'm part of this group by this name, then I can't do nothing with anybody else that's not a part of this group in this name. That's causing division. That's why we still here.
So really, we all just disciples.
That's it.
We
Hebrew
really all just, we all just disciples.
But you know how Jake is. He got to feel special. Well, yeah, but we this group, though. Our little group over here, 500 man, we this. Bro, your 500 man, your 1,000 man don't mean shit, bro. Y'all not, like, when you just deal with numbers, right? Now, tell me if I'm wrong or right. I'm going off my own feelings about this. You say 1/3 of Israelites in America is going to be saved. That 1/3 equals up to millions. 10s, 30s, 40s, damn near probably 100 million when you add Native Americans and Latinos. And you know, the Northern Kingdom. So just these tribes, these 12 tribes, 1/3 equals up to millions. So 1,000 members of a million is what percentage, man? You don't even make up.
That's like 0.1%
or some shit like that, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta base our full understanding off this 1,000 men. That don't even make up the 144,000. That's a small percentage of. That's like what, 1% of the 144,000. Not even that. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, but us, our 1,000 men over here, we got 100% truth.
and we the only ones.
And can't nobody else say they got 100%. Ain't nobody else got 100% truth. Then I could go ask you as an individual. I come down to your camp. I could ask you as individuals, do you got 100% truth? You gonna say no? Us as a group got 100% truth. That's just so foolish, bro. That's a play on words. Anybody can say. Now I can say it. If you say that you got 100% truth because your group got 100% truth, I can say I got 100% truth too because I'm a part of your group. What group? Hebrew Israelites. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. That means that we're a part of the same group at some point in time. We're a part of the group of Hebrew Israelites together. So if you say you got 100% truth because of your group, then I can say it too. Then we all can say it. Because we really all one group, right? You see what I'm saying? So that shit bullshit. You ask person, do you got 100% truth? Well, nah, not me individually, but as a group. Man, shut the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? Man, shit, no, y'all just be talking and saying shit because it sound cool. You got to break down what people be saying, man. You got to literally go into it like, what are you talking about? Well, I don't have 100% truth as an individual, but as a group, I do. Okay, then, the same way you can make claim to it, I can make claim to it. Because we all part of one group called the Hebrew Israelites. So that means a Latino brother, Esau, that came down here last week, he an Israelite too. So he a part of our group. He a part of the Hebrew Israelite group. So if y'all can make claim to have 1% truth, he can too. Because he can say, well, me not as an individual, but as a group I do, as Hebrew Israelite. You see how dumb that is? So why even say it, bro? And then you can't prove it. Because some things you say, oh, this is spiritual. So you can't prove it, but you make a claim to it. You wanna know why you doing that? That's because pride, and that's because that camp banging shit, that competition shit. Man, we grew up knowing that shit, man, that competition shit, man. So I can see, I know competition when I see it. You know if a nigga, you meet a nigga, he trying to compete with you. Because he gonna say, everything he say gonna be like, towards what you doing. Yeah. Comparing. You trying to compete, man. Shit's dumb, bro. I don't know, I just...
No, you good.
We gotta stand up, bro, because you never know, man. The Lord can raise up any brother. You see what I'm saying? So just because you at the bottom, don't think that you just got to keep your mouth shut because you at the bottom or you low. The Lord can raise up dirt, worms. You see what I'm saying? So, but you got to have courage to go out there, bro. Because what we doing right now, what we've been doing every week, and what brothers been doing for decades, that shit's not working. That's why we still in captivity.
The Lord definitely can raise up any brother. Yeah. And
you got to preach up.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think I got it.
So it's just that simple, man. Just like the parable that I just gave you earlier about taking the test. You go keep taking the same test, you keep failing. And then y'all keep doing the same shit. And then y'all crying out to the Lord like, how long, Lord? The Lord looking at you like, how long? You keep doing the same shit and I'm keeping y'all in captivity. Why you doing the same shit? The Lord wait for you like, man, switch it up. I told you what to do. We talk about doctrine so much, right? So what's the apostles' doctrine in Acts 2? The apostle doctrine in Acts 2 was they all lived together and had all things in common, and they put anything they had, like anything they had of worth, they put it in a pot together. That's the apostles' doctrine. If your camp not doing that, how could they say they got the doctrine? Or the 100% truth? See, but that's pride because you get to say, well, we over those men, the apostles that was right there with the Lord. No, we trying to figure out what they knew. Because didn't it say it was many works that were not written in the Bible that Yahushua did, that they actually witnessed? You see what I'm saying? So it's just pride, bro. No. We in the same position. That's why in the year 1990s, in the 90s, they thought it was going to end in the 2000s. Nope, y'all ass still in captivity. Shut up. Y'all ain't doing what I told y'all to do. From the year 2000, 2010, they thought it was going to end. 2008, when the market crashed, the housing market. Nope, y'all is still in captivity. Just because things happen in the world don't mean that the end's finna come, man. And that's what I'm starting to realize, man. A volcano go off somewhere on an island, then they say, look, that's a sign that we finna be, that everything finna end. Volcanoes been going off, man. It's just we got more camera and more footage now to see the shit, man. The year 2012 came, they said the Mayan calendar's finna end. They said we finna get up out of here, the end finna come. Nope, the Lord said, sit y'all asses down, y'all still in captivity. But we the man of the Lord, we been in the truth, we been doing what he's been telling us to do. Nope, but y'all still in captivity. Y'all saying y'all the man of the Lord, man, and y'all doing with the Lord. But what the Lord showing you with the results, that you ain't doing what, you doing something wrong, man. 2012 came, they thought we was out of here. The Lord said, they making the end of the world apocalypse movies and shit, 2012. The Lord said, nope, y'all is still in captivity. Y'all ain't doing what I told y'all. Y'all ain't acknowledged y'all offenses yet. Y'all still in captivity. The year 2019 came, in 2020. I was at camps with brothers when 2019 came around. I was at camps before all that shit happened, right? And I was at a camp before the pandemic, and we was at camp like together throughout the whole thing. So I seen it before it came, I seen it when it came, how it came. I seen going to the stores, there was no tissue, there was no meat. You had to go to 3, 4, 5 different stores to try to find a little bit. I remember going into Walmart and there's one slab of meat that's expensive as fuck sitting there, and we just had to grab it so we could eat some shit we never bought, right? And I seen brothers' faces during that time. They thought it was over. They was like, oh yeah, it's over. We got like 6 months. Nope, sit your dumb ass down, you still in captivity. A year goes by for 2019. 2 years go by. 3 years go by. 4 years go by. We in 2023 right now. I remember a year ago when Russia first invaded Ukraine. Brothers was like, oh yep, the World War III finna pop off. It's over with. A whole year go by. Nope, the Lord said, sit y'all down, y'all still in captivity. Y'all not getting out here until y'all not getting out of here until y'all acknowledge y'all offenses. I don't care what the fuck happened on the earth. The end would not come until y'all acknowledge y'all offenses and do what I told y'all to do. So obviously we ain't doing something right, man. Got it.
This back in Deuteronomy, verse 8. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou number until 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. Right? And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with a tribute of a free will offering in thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is therein, that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there.
Right. I'm still on, because, you know, I'm heated now. You know, and I'm about to start standing, you know what I mean? I'm finna start speaking, man. You gotta have courage, man. Believe that the Lord gonna guide you. Man, which one of y'all are doing works, man? Okay, so which one of y'all could go walk on water? Or which one of y'all could turn water to wine? Which one of y'all are healing? Which one of y'all could walk into a hospital or just on the street and just completely just heal a brother that can't walk? And that by him touching your garment, he can walk right on place. Which one of y'all got something like that on camera that y'all could show y'all did? Which one of y'all could bring somebody back to life? So y'all can't do none of these things, and the Lord said that we should do greater works than he did. So you don't see none of your leaders or these guys that you following doing none of these things. But y'all claiming they man of the Lord. Man of the Lord. They said that that's in Matthew where the Lord said that he gave the disciples power. I gotta find that one. I think it's Matthew 10, but I'm not sure. Right? He said he gave the disciples power. So if he gave them power, and we did see spiritual power displayed by the various disciples and apostles, we not seeing that for these guys that you call the leaders today, man. You got your precepts? I got a sorry. No, you can cook.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just goes back into man worshiping. Like the brother was saying earlier, like we can't man worship. You know, that goes into one of the commandments, right? Which is, I got a precept. This is Exodus 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. So now people would take that and be like, well, we're not looking at him as a god, but that's exactly what you're doing when you putting the laws of the Lord and choosing what's in the best interest for the group.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's your actions. Your mouth say one thing, just like the scribes and Pharisees. Your mouth say, well, we ain't look at him as a god, but your actions show that.
Yeah. And so you gotta practice what you preach.
And let me break it down. And you want to know? I could prove it to you right now, right? I look at this man as a leader or elder. I follow what he say as he follows the Lord. You see what I'm saying? But the difference is with you guys is you follow things that he added that ain't got shit to do with the Lord. I give you a perfect example. I can't get on live stream with other brothers of my camp and make Brady Bunch videos. They don't say you can't do that in the Bible. In the Bible, in what's that, Romans, it says where there's no law, there's no sin. But guess what? He could strip your identity away from you of being part of this group. He could take you out this group, kick you out, banish you, and then can't nobody call you. Because I seen Apostle Ron Blog get on a video and say, look, you brothers lose this number, don't call him. So can't nobody call you, can't nobody interact with you. These guys that you were standing next to that was your brothers, they got to cut you off. So they pretty much cutting you off completely because of something that's not a sin, something you did that's not a sin. Now that's called worshiping him. You doing what he tells you, what he wants you to do.
So now you put him as
that's your God. No,
as your master. You put him as your God. You put him. You know, you choosing. I mean, you can't make videos all day, every day, right? 7 days a week. Go to camp weekly, telling people to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. But when it don't benefit what's best for your group, then it's kind of like pushed to the side a little bit. This is Matthew 23, 9 and 10. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven.
I get more of that. Can you get a couple precepts up?
Yeah. Verse 10, neither be ye called master, for one is your master, even Christ.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Yeah, so we supposed to walk, we supposed to be walking after Christ, right? Supposed to be walking after Yahweh Shai. And so what he was doing was following the laws. Right? So I mean it's plenty times when he was referencing, you know, different books of the Bible proving that this is what we're supposed to be doing. Following the law, statutes, and commandments. And so if we want to mirror him in any type of way, then we're supposed to walk after him.
Keep going. But wait, right there, so you can't go to what's that, Galatians 6, or in the book of Galatians, you can't go to where it says, "Hey, servants, honor your masters," because this just told us not to be called masters. So that ain't fucking talking about you and your camp leader. Well, he's the master, he's the leader. It says don't be called master. So which one is it? Are we supposed to look at you as a master and we your servants, your slaves, because you the leader of the camp? Or are we not supposed to call ourselves master? You see the bullshit, man?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Nah, I want more on that though. You got it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
No, he's supposed to be our leader and our boss. Because it's not just what the apostles, they are our servants. They doing great works for us. No, they your boss. When they tell you you can't do something that's not a sin, if you ain't committed a sin, but they telling you what to do and what not to do, and there's punishment behind it, that's not your servant. That's your fucking boss, your master. Right? Wrong, right. Shalom.
You right.
Yeah, keep going.
Let me just pull this other precept. I still got that.
Yeah.
That one.
I mean, am I making that up? Am I going into my feelings by saying that? No, that's true.
And verse 12, Matthew 23, verse 12. And whosoever shall exalt him, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Right? But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shall put up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in.
Right there. Damn, that's deep. So it's saying, look, the scribes and Pharisees, you ain't doing that. The way that, the spirit that we supposed to be in right now, because we don't know who the elect is, the spirit you're supposed to be in is we all, just like me and Quanan. That's the spirit. If you ask me, oh, are you the leader of Quanan? I'm going to say, fuck no. I'm going to say he's his own leader, he's his own king. Same thing with me. But we still could come together. You see what I'm saying? Now, do certain brothers take leadership roles on different things? Yeah, but that's not a standard. I'm not the leader of everything. If he do something better than me, I'm going to say, hey, Quanan going to get it. He going to run that shit. If I do something better than him, we just putting our best foot forward. If somebody come up here, I'm tough as fuck too. But Quanan bigger than me. If the dude come up here, he way bigger than me, we gonna put our best foot forward. You see what I'm saying? It's just about putting your best foot forward, doing different situations. But no, every man is the king of their own household. It tells you that 1 Corinthians 11, the order. The head of the household, the man, and then the Lord. It don't say, hey, Yahweh's the head of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the head of this man, and this man's the head of this man, this man, this man, this. No, it say, and then it's the head of the man, and then it's the head of woman. That's how it works. You the king of your own household. That's what Israel's about. Households coming together, families, structures coming together, man. It's just that simple. But it said you guys are shutting up the kingdom of heaven for brothers. So a brother can make a Brady Bunch video. He didn't sin against the Lord, but you kicked him out the camp. That probably took him out the truth. Because of what you wanted to do. Isn't that adding? That's adding, man. And I don't want to just talk about one kid. That's why I talk about all the brothers that's going wrong. I'm not saying that brothers ain't doing right. I'm not saying brothers ain't men of the Lord. But there is the wrong things that we all do. Ain't none of us perfect.
And just like, I mean, like, we understand that there's supposed to be an order put in place. We're not saying not to follow order of the men that's above you. What we saying is don't put their order, because we got to admit, there is things that they require their members of their groups to do that's not in the law.
Yep, facts.
And they condemn them if they don't do it.
Punish.
Just like he was just saying that they told him not to go into the Brady Bunch group with different members. Now, they got their own different reasons why. Some say that they think that some members might be agents or whatever, but it just, if anything, you just tell them to be careful.
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You don't try to give him an order, don't do this. I mean, this is 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. Let all things be done decently and in order. So we understand that we're supposed to have everything done decently, but I mean, and in order, right? But that don't mean don't take advice when need be from your elders, but you just can't man worship. You can't put that.
You gotta start knowing the limits. Facts. That's the feeling that I got when I was going down to a camp. I was like, okay, I see, okay, this guy, he's the leader of the camp, right? So in my mind, I ain't know it. You gotta go through it to know it, right? So I'm thinking when they say he leader, he like leader of operations of the camp. Like he gonna get the board for us. He gonna, maybe pick the topics, brothers could chime in and stuff like that. Right. But what I started to realize quick, like, oh no, he's not just leader of the camp. He's leader over these brothers and they regular life and everything they do. He's like their master. And I said, hey, that don't make no sense. We got one Father, that's the one in heaven. I could just follow the Lord. Why do I gotta set you up as a master? Like, see, this is the thing. Like, why do I gotta be a part of this group when you don't own this group? That means that if you do something that displeases the owner of the group, he could take that name away from you. I'm making thousands of videos and shit on YouTube with this name, giving praises for something that could just be taken away from me because a person don't like something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guess what? A man can never take away from you, a Hebrew Israelite. He can never take away your identity that you're a Hebrew Israelite. So why not just be a Hebrew Israelite and follow the Lord? Only the Lord could take that away from you. Yeah, all you Sakari members and stuff like that, you don't own Sakari. You wanna know who owns Sakari? Allah Zor and Deacon. If you do something they don't like, they can take the Sakari name away from you. So why are you putting that burden on yourself? If something that could be taken away from you. Now you doing all this work, now you sound like a clown because now you switching things up because you got kicked out, but your last 1,000 videos giving all praises and double honors to them, to this group. I said, that don't make no sense, man. And it's not needed. And the man of the Lord would tell you that, hey, this is not needed. Just follow the Lord. Just like with Esau. We not hypocrites when it comes to this. When the guy, I'm talking about the man Esau that came up here and talked to us at camp, right? Not the Edomites. His name was Esau. It's crazy, right? But you got to know, you watch our videos, you know what I'm talking about. When he came up here, I said the same thing to him. Why you calling yourself a Catholic? The Lord didn't call himself Catholic. He couldn't answer that. Well, you're supposed to follow the Lord. He kept trying to go back through the Catholic Church is the reason why he followed the Lord and that they put the Bible together. I said, that's not true. You could just follow the Lord. You don't have to follow the Lord through the Catholic Church. You could just follow the Lord. Made perfect sense.
Man, that's man worship at its finest. Yep. And he act like he didn't know. So and then this was so crazy about that too. He said he had a lot of problems. He disagreed with a lot of the stuff that they did.
Yep.
But since the masses and the majority of the world recognize those so-called popes, those people as people of power, and they think that like they've been brainwashed to believe that they got the truth, they know, he followed what they do, even though he don't agree with a lot of shit, right?
Yep.
This is
that's funny. That's facts. I don't agree with a lot of things they do. So that means that they can't be better than the Lord if in your eyes, because you saying, look, man, these dudes is doing this and doing that wrong. The popes. I don't agree with that shit. They doing wicked things pretty much is what you're saying. Right? But you still follow them. That's man worship. Right there.
So this is Ephesians 5:1, verse 1. Ephesians 5, verse 1. Be ye therefore followers of the Most High as dear children. So we gotta follow after the Lord, right? And the Lord, I mean, he left a pamphlet. I mean, not a pamphlet. He left a guidebook, right? A guide or a blueprint of how to be a follower of him. You know what I'm saying? And now we know those Catholic popes, right? They go back to a lot of pedophilia and a lot of stuff like that, and the stuff that they believe in. We know that the Lord, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that they do is contrary to some of the laws. So we know we can't follow them. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention the Edomites. And this brother, he was an Israelite. He was from the tribe of Issachar. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what the brother was trying to explain to him. Like, man, we supposed to be following the Lord. This is our God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is our God. the God of the Bible is the God for the Israelites, right?
And he just worshiping man. He gonna tell us some dude that he never met in his life that he just researched is smarter than us. How you don't know how smart he is? You don't know him. But he just gotta be smarter than us. I told him, bro, he not smarter than us. Who to say that he's smarter than us? The smartest one is gonna be here. Let me grab a precept. Can you get that in Matthew 10 in the beginning? Yeah. First verse. Let me grab a precept. I'm gonna tell you who the smartest people on earth is gonna be.
Real good. When we get this after you, right? Go ahead. Get it now. Yeah. Matthew 10 started at the top. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits.
Gave them power.
To cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
So who's doing that today? Exactly. This right here, this is going to be the smartest people on earth, right? 2 Esdras 2 verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon Mount Sion a great people who I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them was a young man of high stature, taller than the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set a crown, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms. That's the smartest people in the world, that's confessing the name of God. This dude that he was saying that was smarter than us, is he out there? That's what I asked him. Is he out there? How he smarter than us? He don't know who the Israelites is. How he smarter than us? He don't know the Lord's name. If you ain't confessing the name Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you ain't smarter than us. That's simple. Because your ass gonna be destroyed, and we hopefully hoping that we be saved. So we gonna be whoever gets saved is the smartest people. Because they did what they had to do to get saved for the destruction that everybody else would be put to death for. Niggas swear up and down they smarter. How the hell if we what's that movie Saw? Yeah, that movie Saw with the little thing. If Saw got us tied up in rooms, right? Whoever survived out the room is the smartest dude. If you can't say you smarter than me, but you die. But I'll figure it out and get out the room. I'm the smarter one. So it's the same thing. The Lord got us in like a Saw-like country. He got us in a country like Saw. He got us in a country like Saw. So whoever died and don't figure out how to get out, they can't claim that they smarter than people that get saved and get out, man. Man, that's serious. So, man, I don't know, man. Man, you just see the world just so bugged out, man. The world just so bugged out. We say that we the top guys and we got the most knowledge. No, but we can clearly see simple things, man. Niggas be so deep in the truth, but you can't even see that you worshiping a man. You can't see it because you don't want to admit it. Your eyes won't let you see it because you're so stuck worshiping, man.
Yeah, and you following because this is what you feel. so you going back into following your heart. When the Bible tells you that your heart is deceitful. Jeremiah 17 verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? You know what I'm saying? No matter what, we cannot put, I mean, bro, I don't care who it is, bro, your mom, your dad. I mean, you supposed to, like honoring your mother and your father, right? And people in positions, like the Lord, he tells you that he gave us, he put people in positions. He appointed leaders, right, for a reason, because that's the order of the Lord. But we supposed to follow them in the ways of the Lord. Yep. So that if it's going contrary to that,
or adding
to it, then you're going off. Going off, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. So you still really follow your heart. Well, it's in the spirit. Yeah, you follow your heart. Go as it is written. Show it as it is written. Follow as it is written. It is in the spirit. No, man, that shit's, hey, yo, you following your heart, man. And shit like that, man. But yeah, it's how you got it.
This Deuteronomy 16 verse 10. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with him a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy sons and thy daughter and thy maidservant manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you, and the place which the Lord thy God have chosen his name there.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We ain't gotta break it down. It's telling you what it is. You know, some things you gotta break down, some things straightforward. So, go ahead.
Verse 12, and thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe to do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine.
Yep. And this all goes back to what I said, rehearsing the righteous acts. We can't do these things perfect. Some brothers can't even do these things at all. But you observe it. You know, you rehearse it. You try to get better at it over time. Pray to the Lord about it. You know?
And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy increase and all thy works of thy hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Wasn't Yahweh been, what's his name?
Yahweh.
Yeah, they was here. I remember seeing those little signs over there by the debris building over there by the bricks, and they were here in Springfield at one point in time. Now look what happened to them. They was worshiping a man, but they was saying that they was worshiping the Lord. They really felt it, really thought it, but the whole time they was worshiping a man. Look at the whole thing that happened with that coat, man. I heard some wild shit happen.
Yeah, he
adultery.
He was telling, the leader was telling them not to have sex with their wives.
Yep.
He was telling them not to have sex with their wives because they needed to be focusing in on the word and focusing in on the truth. You know, pretty much telling them, you know, to afflict their soul with sex because of they needed to lock in more, but was going behind their back and was sleeping with their wives.
Yep.
Shit like that, just certain shit like that. That's what he was doing. But he ended up going to jail, I think. And it was crazy. Verse 16, 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and thou shalt not appear before the Lord empty.
Right there, because I kind of like, we be thinking about so much, so I want to kind of, you know, things be going by, but with Yahweh, that's what I wanted to say. So they was following him. They thought he was a man of the Lord, so they was following everything he said. You see, and that's the example. And some brothers are doing that right now with their leaders. But they couldn't see the things outside of the Bible that he was adding and that he was forcing them to follow. See, that's why it's just better to follow the Lord, man. And not follow a man. We could be cool, we could be brothers. We supposed to be cool and be brothers. Actually, we Israelites, and we got commandments of how to deal with each other. But I ain't gotta follow you. You see what I'm saying? We follow the Lord. We can follow the Lord together. You see what I'm saying? But man, they twist that shit up, you know. It's just like Jake ain't never had shit. They ain't never had no power, so they abuse the little power they get. They get down to a camp, they start getting in leadership roles, and then they start abusing the power because they ain't never really had no power. It's just like a brother ain't never really get no pussy. As soon as he start getting it, he start abusing it because he ain't never really get no pussy like that. That's just a Jake thing, man. Yeah. So now the shit go to your head and you can't even see that it went to your head. And then you had like the elder that just died, had them saying shit like the Comforter, had them, they was riding around Bentleys. Not that it's a sin to ride around Bentleys, but Bentleys off the money of their congregation and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had like a day where, or like a certain period of time where they used to have all the members of their congregation come in and give them everything that they made that day, or something crazy like that.
They was getting money. They was saying some blasphemy shit, man. Because that power got to their head, man.
That's man worship. See, and that's the thing, though. That's what the Lord gave us the laws for. To teach us how to deal with each other. So why do we feel like we need to add different, like, that's crazy. Like,
because you scared there may be agents. You let the Lord deal with that. Was the Lord scared that it was an agent, that Judas Iscariot was going to betray him? No, he already knew it. He let it happen.
Exactly.
He didn't try to stop it. You see what I'm saying? But they use that as a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make Brady Bunch videos because there might be
and that's what I'm saying.
Y'all don't see what the Lord, y'all don't know what the Lord is going to do. Y'all don't know his moves. Y'all don't know the positions he put people in. And man, you just got to follow the Bible. Until that time, then you'll find out. Stop trying to act like you don't know or you can. I mean, I know that there's discernment, but man, we just follow the word. We just follow the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the Lord got planned, that's what he got planned. You can't change it. So what you got to do is just, just prepare yourself the best way you can for the end, because we don't know what's all going to happen at the end.
We could be here another 10 years. Stop saying, yeah, we're going to be out of here a year, and then the next year, we're going to be out of here another year. Or I'm going to name this year this, and then this year that shit don't come to pass, man. That's what's going to make you a false prophet, man. Just follow the Lord and what he said. Stop adding shit, man.
Simple as that.
It's just that simple, bro. The Lord said, go on the highways and byways. He ain't say, hey, set this guy up at your local camp as your head, your leader. You ain't got to do that, bro. If you doing that, that's because you want to do that. The Lord said, follow him. Y'all following 100 niggas before y'all follow the Lord. Y'all got to go through these 100 niggas. This dude got to open the door for you, then this dude got to open the door for him, and then this dude got to open the door for him so that you can go through and finally get to the Lord's door to open through, to go through.
Crazy.
Someone that climbed it up another way. Did Apostle Paul climb up another way? Because he was directly taught by the Lord. So a brother could be walking down the street and the Lord could get our brother the truth. He don't have to come through us or come through the Hebrew Israelite One West thing. The Lord, he could be walking down the highway and the Lord could just give him the truth if he wants to. But y'all say, well, no, he can't because he ain't come through us. See how dumb that sounds? But your leaders and your elders, they not following, bro. This shit is simple, bro. Your leaders and elders are not following what they leaders and they elders told them to do, but you telling us that we gotta follow your leaders and elders and everything they do to a T. But they not even doing it. They not even showing the example themselves. They don't follow what they elders and teachers, and they don't call themselves by the name that they elders and they teachers called them. So what that mean? That mean they broke off and they went against them, right? And taught something different. But then you tell us that we can't do it. That's being a hypocrite. So to not be a hypocrite is about the action. It's the action wrong of breaking off, calling yourself something different, and then switching up the doctrine. If you say that action is wrong, then you have to keep that same standard to the people you look up to. And that was my problem while I was going out to the camp. Like, bro, look how you trying to treat me, look down on me, but you wouldn't act this way with your. I call you emotional, you got a problem with it. But if the leader of Chicago called you emotional, you wouldn't have a problem. So a standard is, if anybody calls me emotional, I'm going to have a problem with it. It don't matter if he's the leader of Chicago or a leader under. That's keeping the same standard. I could appreciate that. Okay, he a real nigga. He just standing on business. But it's fake when Kadash tells me I look down on him because I'm over him, I'm mad. But if this guy says it to me, I'm not mad. That's not the same standard, man. That's picking and choosing. You ain't solid. I mean, am I wrong about that, right? No. It's just about having a standard, bro. Because niggas gonna say you fold, bro. You can't say, hey, man, look, if anybody come up and smack me, I'm going nuts. And then President Biden come up and smack you, you don't go nuts. Niggas gonna look at you like, oh, you fake. You said if anybody come up and smack you, you going nuts. You ain't a real nigga, man. You got to keep the same standard, and this standard is the law, statutes, commandments. And brothers go wrong with that. Because, hey, with this brother I look down on, I'm be on his ass about the law, statutes, commandments. But this guy that I look up to, he going off, I'm going to turn my head because he over. That's what you see. A lot of these dudes be lames. I'm talking about like gamer boys and lames. They play Call of Duty and shit all day, and they ain't never really had no woman, but they trying to tell you how to deal with a woman. But they ain't got no woman themselves right now. They never had no woman, or never lived with no woman or deal with a woman, but they trying to tell you how to deal with a woman because they just the leader of the camp. Like, man, shut the fuck up, man. You don't know what you're talking about. If you ain't lived with a woman over a year, you don't know nothing about no woman, bro. If you ain't lived in the same house with a woman over a year, you don't know nothing about no women's, bro. So stop talking. You ain't got kids and shit. You see what I'm saying? But just because you the leader, you got some supreme knowledge. Man, shut up, bro. These niggas be gamer dudes. They work around Edomites all goddamn day, and they play video games when they get off. But then they come down to camp and they this super Israelite leader now.
Got it all figured out.
Got it all figured out. We supposed to follow him and listen to everything he ain't got no experience in the world. He ain't got no real world experience. He been sheltered his whole life. His parents did helicopter over him his whole life, but we gotta follow him because he just knows the truth. But all he doing is repeating what these guys say, and they going off. You see how this shit's sick, bro? At this point in time, it's like, bro, we gotta do something different because ain't nothing changing. We still in captivity, so we still doing something wrong. I'm not putting that on the world. I'm putting that on us as a whole. We gotta speak up.
Lord waiting on us, man. We gotta remember that.
Yep.
This is verse 17, Deuteronomy 16. Every man shall give as he is able according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes. And thou shalt judge the people with just judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take
just get done talking about
a gift. Yeah.
Oh, we finna start getting in the meat now. Run that last verse back.
It say, thou shalt not wrest judgments, and thou shalt not respect persons.
Oh, we gotta stop there. So resting judgment is what? You picking and choosing the judgment, man. If this your judgment, hey, if you kill somebody, you get 10 years. That's just the judgment. Just an example. That goes for people that you look up to and people that you think you over. It's the same standard. You got to keep the same standard. You get what I'm saying? You can't change it now because, okay, well, because he did it, he only going to get 5 years because it's him.
Exactly.
You can't change it.
And that's what the respect of persons is when it says the Lord don't respect persons, because it actually said in the scriptures that he respect Israel. So the Lord does respect us. So we can't use that in that context. So just like what the brother was saying is, you know what I'm saying? Say for instance, it's me, right? He know me, yeah, he know me, right? But he know me, but me and the brother, me and just another random brother, which is an Israelite, you know what I'm saying? Me and him get into a conflict that I started. I just started it. But since we grew up together, no matter if I was right or wrong, he choose my side. That's respecting of persons. He's not supposed to deal judgment wrong. Like that. You know what I'm saying? But no, bro, look, I know, but you wrong. How you handle it, you shouldn't have handled it like that. Look, the law, statutes, and commandments say this. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That's how you supposed to handle it. And so that's why the brother's saying, like, just because he was a member that they would look at or say that like a rookie or a younger or under him in that camp, that don't mean that he should take what he say to this super level of offense. But then when one of the elders who started the camp, who he came up under, say something, he just never minded. It's not supposed to be like that.
It's supposed to be like that, keep the same standard. And so-called black people, Israelites, we got that bad. I'm riding with him wrong or right. No. I done seen family members do shit wrong and I told them. I say y'all was wrong on that. Y'all should never did that. That was wrong. That brother, you woo out the Bama Israelite, you're not supposed to do that. Y'all was in the wrong. Not him. Y'all was in the wrong. He did what he's supposed to do. Yep. And that's how it's supposed to be, but we grow up with this wrong or right. I'm riding with him wrong or right. It don't matter if he's wrong. I'm still riding with him. That's my game. And that's why you see us divided and conquered. In captivity. It's not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to rebuke your brother. Hey, man. Hey, we at the bar. We started some shit. Hey, bro, you wrong, bro. Yeah. I ain't got to say it out loud for air. I might pull bro to the side like, hey, bro. Yeah, I know we can whoop this nigga right now because he think he tough and he not. But you did do this wrong, bro. Yeah. So I would react the same way he did too. But leave that shit alone. Niggas might say, hey, you know what? Fuck it, he gone. We ain't finna turn this bitch up. Yep. That's how that work, man. You gotta keep the same standard because the Lord is sitting up there watching how we do these things. And the Lord is saying, nope, they doing it wrong still. Captivity. Another 10 years. So you gotta remember there's eyes on us, man. The angels walk amongst us, man. So they might be there, recording everything, man. So you gotta, man. It says, beware of unawares of angels. Some of you have entertained angels. That's what I mean. I'm not pulling out my ass. Some of you have entertained angels. In order to entertain an angel, that means that you dealt with him, but you ain't know he was an angel. That's in the Bible. So yeah, so you gotta. They watching, man. And they could set some shit up, man, and see if you gonna handle it with righteous judgment or not.
Yeah, see if you're gonna use the law, statutes, and commandments. Because that's what we always gotta remember, that we only do bad when we try to handle things under our own feelings. Yeah. That's when things go all the way left. Yep. If we handle things the way the Lord say handle it, we always gonna get good results.
That go back to King Saul, don't it?
Yeah.
He tried to handle things based off his feelings and his understanding what he wanted to do, because he had a feeling that he wanted to do things this way, but he didn't follow just what the Lord told him.
And,
That's what the examples of the Bible was for, man.
We gotta remember, King Saul was a righteous man until
Prophet too.
Yeah.
And king, first king.
The first king, and he was a righteous man. You know what I'm saying? And but when he went off,
that was took him
on righteousness. The Lord stripped that righteousness away from him, and then that's when he got wicked.
Yeah, you cooking. Because what happened with the dudes that was wrong, King Saul? See, they should have just followed the law. But they was still following King Saul when he was going after King David. Why? Because they was worshiping the man. They should have told King Saul, no, you wrong. King David ain't do shit to you, bro. You got to stop going at him, trying to kill him. You wrong. Matter of fact, we ain't even riding with you. You have to do it by yourself.
You see?
Because we follow the law. But they didn't do it. They still follow King Saul, man.
Yeah.
So, see, that shows.
Which shows.
Cain will follow man.
Yep. Because the Lord can take us like it, right? We got to remember that the Lord don't need us. King Saul and King David was a perfect example of how the Lord started with King Saul and used King Saul, and then when King Saul went off, he took the power away from him, the glory away from him, and gave it to King David.
King David. Just an average, regular young boy at the time, and the Lord made him great.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So many different accounts in the Bible. So you got to think about when in Moses, I'm not for sure what chapter, but I know it's in the book of Exodus when he went, when the Lord was, who was that? When the Lord was finna wipe out the nation of Israel for us not following the law, statutes, and commandments right after he got us out of Egypt.
King David almost got Israel wiped out.
Yeah, and he was finna pretty much make Moses the new Jacob. He was finna start a whole new nation with Moses. I wish I could find it. I was looking for it earlier, but I couldn't find it. I know it's in the book of Exodus. I'm not for sure. It's like the 34th or the 35th chapter.
Yeah, King David came after Moses, but I know what the brother's talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. It's just, so you gotta ask yourself, am I one of King Saul's, man? That's just following this guy blindly because he was the king and he was a prophet? See, that's the thing with the camps. The leader of your camp might have been a prophet at one time and a man of the Lord at one time, but that don't mean that he's always going to remain that way to the end. Just like when King Saul was a prophet and a man of the Lord, right? So you gotta be able to realize, okay, this man was a man of the Lord, he was a prophet, but he ain't no more, man. So I gotta move around. Just like the man of King Saul that was hunting King David, they should have moved around, but they never did. They ride or die with King Saul rather than ride or die with the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be judged. So we gonna see. I made a video, we gonna see, man. I'd rather just follow the Lord like this. You know? Then cause when you get in these groups, you start to worship these men, you gotta
this Exodus 32, I'm gonna start at verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses besought the Lord his God, and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? So we see right there an account when the Lord was finna annihilate the Israelites for them, and he was finna make a great nation, another nation through Moses, right? So that just let us be known that the Lord don't need us, and he can put anybody in position of power that he wants and that he chooses, and that's what happened with King Saul and King David.
Yep, so you can't get in your pride and say, these men that we looked up to, we gotta be proven right. We gonna follow them no matter what. You gotta know, like, man, when they start making prophecies and they not coming to pass, they start telling you and adding to the law, telling you can't do things, or you're gonna be punished, or you're gonna be kicked out. Then you gotta kind of look at it like, oh man, it might be time to move around. They might have been man of the Lord at one time. It might be time to move around. They might have been man of the Lord at one time. I mean, but like you said, you enter in not yourself. What we read, so you don't want to have to go down with them. Your goal is to be saved by the Lord, not saved by them. See, so you got to remember that, man. Yeah, we can finish off.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 20. That thou is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Lord thy God given thee, that Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which the Lord thy God hated.
That's it on that.
Yep, that's just it, man. I'm gonna name this one like respective persons or something like that.
Yeah.
Or man worshiping or something like that. Y'all gotta, man, just stop that, man. It's still time to repent, man.
Yep.
Y'all gotta stop that shit, man. And we gotta come together. Because the law, statutes, and commandments is commandments for us to come together. It's literally commandments with us being together. That's what the commandments deal with, us being together. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, we gotta start standing up, man, because something gotta change, bro. Or it's gonna be another 10 years in captivity. You would say that we got another 10 years, bro. Say, look, see, he not in the truth. Because he's saying we got 10 years. The 10 years go by, then what? Just imagine being in the 1990s and brothers that was saying the end ain't gonna come in the year 2000. They probably was telling them that they was wicked and shit. They didn't have the truth. They don't know what they talking about. And the year 2001 came. Then what? Did they go apologize to all the men that they was rebuking?
I just seen a video like that.
Did they go say, hey man, I gotta call this brother up because I told him that the end was gonna end in 2000? And say, hey bro, I was wrong. Salaki. No, they don't. They just keep going and say, fuck it. That's wicked, man. You know, so you gotta follow the Lord, man. The Bible was telling them, even in the year 1990, the Bible still said that no man knows the time of day. But they added to the word. They said, fuck that. It's gonna end in 2000. So if I see a video, it don't matter how much I love a brother. I could love an elder a lot, because I do. Learned a lot of things from him. But if I see a video with him saying, into the year 2000, and then you got approximately 10 days to the year 2000, and it's gonna end, and then that don't happen, I'm not going against him. I'm just gonna say, hey, look, he ain't got 100% truth. He ain't know what he was talking about. He was off.
His discernment was off.
Hopefully he repent.
Repent from it, move forward, and continue to move on with the prophecy.
I'm not gonna make excuses. Well, everybody was saying, I'm not gonna make excuses for him, man. That's man worshiping. But you know, it just is what it is. You got anything else to say?
Nope, that was it.
All right, we're gonna give our praises too.
Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakadash.
Shalom.